Hi, I'm Christopher. I'm leading Liverpool's coverage of the Eurovision Song Contest on behalf of the Liverpool Echo, and joining me are two people who've had a monumental role in bringing the contest home. The Director of Cllr Liverpool, Cllr McColgan.
Hello.
And Cabinet Member of Cllr Harry Doyle.
Hello.
How are you both?
A bit hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been...
half. Yeah, a bit delirious, a bit exhausted, but just thinking that this is probably the best thing I've ever done, and it's just been incredible for the city. So yeah, delirious and really happy.
Best week ever. City is booming.
Yeah.
Do you think it's flown in? Because, you know, we're already on Thursday by the day we're recording this, and we only have 2 full days left after.
It's just, do you know what? It's felt though for us like it's been going for months because it's that planning. And then, you know, this was started in July for us, you know, they're putting the bid in, and then...
No, in May with the text.
Oh, May with the text, that was our,
This time last year.
On the grand final night.
Yeah.
Well, all of this started out, it all started with a text. We've heard that a line a few times, so let's go right back to the beginning. How did it start with a text?
Well, I was sitting by myself watching it at home, thinking, oh, this is really great Eurovision. I've got friends who absolutely love Eurovision and are obsessed with it, so I do know how big it is. But I've always just watched it, like same as most people, do you know what I mean, on a Saturday night on the television. But I just thought, what event could we bring to Liverpool that suits Liverpool really well? And then when Sam Ryder was winning, I didn't really understand all the rules and all of the stuff that the superfans did, and I texted Harry and just went, should we, if we win Eurovision, if we win Eurovision, should we try and get it for Liverpool? And you did.
I was like, yes, absolutely. However, wait for the public vote to come in, Claire.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is not how it works, you know. UK doesn't usually do well. Sam did smash it out of the park, but just wait. But absolutely, yes, we'll do it.
But
and that's how it started.
there was, obviously we didn't win, so there was that little down period between, you know, thinking, okay, well, Ukraine's going to host this, but was there a nagging feeling in the back of your head that, you know, they can't host this? So did you think to yourself again, okay, well, maybe it might come to the UK?
I think the thought was obviously there. We weren't unsure. We were really unsure whether it was going to happen in Ukraine or not. But straight away, you know, as soon as it was announced, we didn't even need to speak. It was like it made absolute sense. You know, the link with Odessa, the fact our city, you know, puts on the most amazing shows and can run events like this, but also that sense of solidarity. So for us, it didn't even need that. Okay, shall we do this? It was like,
let's go.
Go.
And I think there was lots of rumours around, wasn't there, about it not being able to be held in Ukraine. And when those rumours started, you kind of thought, well, is it going to go to the UK or not? And you knew that the BBC were going to, you know, would if they were going to step in, it would be the BBC that was running it. And I think, were we the first city to put our hat in the ring? I can't remember.
Because
there's 20, weren't there? There's 20 other cities.
It was a long time ago.
It does feel like a really long time ago. And it was just like, what process would they go through to? Because you never know. You know, they could have just chosen a city because it's such, the timescale is so short, because usually it's a year to put on Eurovision. We were doing it, whatever city would have won that point, it was 6 months plus the kind of whole doing it on behalf of another country. So all those complexities about working with politicians, you know, from Ukraine, working with artists from Ukraine, that's quite hard. So we couldn't quite work out whether they'd just go, right, okay, this is a city, we'll just choose a city, or they did. But they did a really, I mean, look, of course I would say this, we won, but the competition was really, it felt very transparent and fair to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just throughout. I mean, I remember when we had the EBU and the BBC delegation come to Liverpool, and it was August as well, towards the end of August.
Yeah, pouring with rain.
Well, no,
only when
the rain
left.
held off until the very, very end. So it was really well done. But we finished. We did the city tour, and we finished in St George's Hall, and we had someone on the organ playing "All You Need Is Love," and I think one of the delegation was crying, weren't they? And from that moment, I thought, you know what, we've got the heart here. Like we've hit the nail on the head. We know what we want to do. We know who we're doing it for, and it's just right. And that's what I knew.
Was this tour a part of that bidding process?
Yes.
Because obviously the public don't know what that looked like in black and white. So can you tell me a little bit about like what the EBU requested, if Ukraine requested anything, or just what that looked like?
The competition was run by the BBC and the EBU, so the BBC led on that, and the first bid was really technical. So it was, do you have all the technical requirements to put on the show, which is the size of the arena, height of the, you know, all those very, very different things, capacity, all those really, really technical things. And the second bit was about how the whole city would embrace it. So we'd been very clear about wanting the fan village very close to the arena, very close to the very close to the Euro Club. We plotted all that out for them. We kind of sorted all that out, and there was some conversations around that about whether the Fan Village should have been in a park. But I really wanted it to feel like a festival, like properly like a festival. So I wanted them to be close together. So in some ways we kind of disagreed with them about that. But we kind of stuck to our guns because I just knew it would work because we work this city all the time. So that was that. And then they came on a visit and then they toured those sites, didn't they? So half of them stayed in the arena to go into, oh my gosh, minute detail on how many dressing rooms, toilets, lights, height of the roof, you know. And that
and were all these things you guys knew beforehand, or were you scrambling? Like,
no,
we need to find this out?
We knew we could. Oh no, we had real intelligence behind.
We knew what we wanted, and of course, because the arena, the staff there were heavily involved as well. They were fantastic, and so they had all the specifications and all of that. So that we didn't have to worry about. You wouldn't believe the amount of detail they have to go into, you know, because it's all about rigging and you know, it's just everything. So no, we did the nice part where we took the park delegation around the city for a tour. So that was quite nice. Yeah,
it was great. And also, you know, we had Merseyside Police with us as well, because we work obviously with hand in hand with Merseyside Police. We used to do major events with them, and they are hugely supportive. But you couldn't have done an event like Eurovision on this scale this quickly without the brilliance of Merseyside Police, because they know how to do events. So I think that was really impressive for them as well. And I think when they came, I think they just thought that the team that they came and did the bid show around with them and did the presentations and had written it were the same team that would be delivering it. Yeah. And that's really quite rare, because sometimes you send your great and your good to these things, and that's fine, and you know, but they're not. In 6 months, you've got to be able to look someone in the eye and say, if I say it will happen, it will. And I'll be the one that's doing it, so I'll have let you down if I'm making it up. Do you know what I mean? So I think that really, really, really went down very well with the BBC, and we laughed. I mean, if we come second, we probably all would still be friends now, because we laughed through the whole process. It's just.
I mean, I'd be a bit gutted.
Oh my gosh, we'd have been so gutted. I would be gutted now.
Oh God, I couldn't.
I wouldn't be able to turn on the television. I wouldn't.
Could you imagine?
I wouldn't.
Could you imagine this week going down in Glasgow or Manchester, and we're just kind of like twiddling our thumbs here, wishing it was here?
I mean, I'd probably have a better sleep, but
I wouldn't be.
I'd
just be proper cross the whole time.
I love Glasgow. We love Glasgow.
We love Glasgow. It's not about Glasgow. It's the fact we wouldn't be doing it.
So there was loads of technicalities leading up to this, but it was a little bit glitz and glam on camera, because the one show announced that we were getting it. Did you guys know behind the scenes that we were getting it, or were you told then?
Well, we kind of had a conversation with the BBC before, but I think the key thing about that was you don't know until you know. So I am an absolute, and I'm not a pessimist at all. My gosh, I'm not a pessimist, but I'm kind of, you know what I'm like.
Well,
I'm just completely.
You
were in America. You weren't even there.
I was away, so I was getting messages.
No one was here. I sent everyone home.
Different messages every hour, like yes, no, yes, no.
I took my little boy. My little boy was going to play football, so I drove him and his 3 friends at 5 o'clock to play football, thinking we're just not going to win. And so I didn't even, so I was like slinging out. I sent everyone home, slinging out football kits out the car. We've got a brilliant video that we will show at the end of when if we hadn't won. I was watching it last night, thinking that'd be brilliant. But it was only when Graham Norton read that thing that you believed it, because I just thought, they might have got it, BBC got it wrong, and then there's going to be Glasgow on the thing, and then we're going to have to look disappointed. I don't know what to do. And so they had it on there, and you just went. And it was just that moment, because we've worked so hard on it, haven't we? And we'd love doing the bid as well, haven't we? Haven't we, Harry?
Honestly, genuinely,
all the stress was worth it, wasn't it, Harry?
Genuinely,
well, you were in America. Different time
when
zone.
It was announced, there just couldn't be any worse times. But it was just the whole process of the bid was just as exciting, I think. I mean, this is the pinnacle, but the whole process of the bids was amazing, and just the fact that everyone came together. You know, I met Sonia on the waterfront the morning, and we were singing together. It was a mad morning, don't get me wrong, but it was just the whole city, all the businesses, all the residents,
people proper behind us, weren't
100%, and it felt like a campaign. The Liverpool bid, everyone says it felt like a campaign. It wasn't just a half-hearted, you know, we're going to put something on paper, maybe we'll get it. It was a campaign, and everyone got behind it.
I think we can see that as well, just how much work has went into this, and especially from you guys, because the contest is just a monster in general, but whenever you see everything that Liverpool's done, I think that kind of is a reason why we've got it as well. You know, the promise to the BBC, to the EBU, to Ukraine as well. I just couldn't have seen this being delivered by any other city.
Do you know why that is? I mean, there's a real reason for that, and that's down to the council. That's down to politicians throughout the ages. I've been in the city council for a long time, since 2003 when I did capital culture bids, so I know it. They all believe in culture, so they trust us to deliver something brilliant, and they've kept that team that no other city's got. So no other city has got a team that has got the ability to do what we do, because those skills are farmed out, and you'd get an event company in to do it if you were doing a big event, and you wouldn't have that in-house capacity to do it. So if you're the BBC and the EBU and you've got to get something done in 6 months on behalf of another country, you don't want a middle person, so you don't want to be going to an event manager going, can you sort this out for me, and then turn into the council and going, can you sort out a road for me here, and you just don't want that. You want to be able to go, we'll do that now, it's done.
And it could have been very easy to just kind of house the contest, sort out EuroVillage, and just move it on to next year.
Not for us.
But that's obviously not what's happened.
What's the fun in that? What's the fun in doing so?
Listen,
What's the fun in that?
I know, I'm a massive Eurovision fan, and although I've never been to an in-person one, this is a new experience for me as well, but always love Eurovision. I knew it was always going to be really difficult to get tickets. It was. Regardless of the size of the arena, it was going to be difficult to get tickets. And so for me, it just wouldn't have been acceptable for the people of this city who got behind us, so just in full force, to have nothing to hold on to. And so the memories that have been created during this week, it's on purpose. We had the big opening ceremony, we've got all the Euro Learn things happening in the school, we've got all the community projects, we've got everything, all the commissions around the city's absolutely buzzing. That's a memory that people in this city and beyond are going to have and hold for the rest of their lives, just like, I always say, back in 2008 as a kid, I was in year 8.
I know,
those memories,
don't remind me.
I always say it.
I was like, where were you? Oh, you were in year 8.
Yeah,
I was doing it.
It's a memory that people are going to have for the rest of their lives, and so that was really important for us. And of course, with the added extra element of Ukraine and doing it for Ukraine, no other city has the same level of solidarity. That sense of justice that we have. We've gone through some really tough times as a city, as we all know. We wanted to do Ukraine proud. Absolutely, we're going to do it.
And I know that a lot of fans were disappointed because they couldn't get tickets because of the capacity of the arena, which is understandable as well. But I think whenever news came out of just how much is going on around Liverpool, everything shifted. There's so many parties, viewing parties, and that Liverpool is getting together as a community to host this. It's not just a contest in an arena, it is a Liverpool region-wide thing.
Yeah.
But the heart of everything is the unity with Ukraine. We've seen the Protected Beats, we've seen the Slovakia Songbirds, we've seen Izium to Liverpool as well. The 2-week-long Eurofestival programme has just never been done before. So how was it tying the city to a completely different nation?
It's all sort of, I don't know how it's mad because it's all been individual as well. So I remember when we went out with the commissions, and it was over 700 applications.
700, yeah.
And obviously only 24 commissions we've currently got now. But lots of them are collaborations as well. I think about how we brought the LGBTQ plus groups together as well, and how Eurocamp in Shavas Park, that was a whole collective. And it is a whole collective of organisations that put in individual bids, but we've brought together. But I've got to say, when I heard about the Protected Beats for the first time, I felt unsure about it, because I thought, okay, so where's this gone through? It's quite poignant, it's quite strong, and actually, it is just the most. It is. When we talked to the Ukrainian ambassador, I spoke to him about that on the tour bus, and he was just blown away by how amazing the artistic impressions and all the commissions were. But it's just all come together so perfectly, and the songbirds and just everything.
And it's everything. I think it's everything in life, the commission. So it's like joy and sadness and laughter, and it's all those. And that's a great arts programme. That's what a great arts programme does. And I just think hats off to kind of Robin Kemp and Eliza, who absolutely blew that away, because they did it in 3 months. So they had to, and it's hard working with artists. They like to think, they like to do things properly with thoughtfulness, and but they just didn't really have time. They had to make relationships really quickly and get something on in 3-4 months, and they all did it with such open-hearted kind of, like, we're all in this together, and no fear. And that's down to them really, but also I think that's down to the maturity of the city, because we couldn't. I was part of 2008, and we couldn't. There was so much looking back on it, there was so much on the build-up. There's so much faff around 2008. Do you know what I mean? In some ways, so much wasted time. We hadn't got any time to waste. We had 6 months, so everything had to happen at speed. And I think, look, and I've done both. I think this is more impactful, actually, than Capital of Culture, and that for me is incredible. Both different times in the city's life. So in 2008, we were still trying to prove ourselves. This feels like we are absolutely centre stage and we have arrived as a city.
100%.
It feels completely different city to me. Confident and aspirational and joyful and looking and compassionate, all those brilliant things, but not needy. In 2008, we still felt a little bit like needy in some ways as a city, because it's the first time we've done anything like that. 20 years later, look at us. It's incredible.
It's so amazing to see, and you were just mentioning about the City of Culture as well, and you wasted some time. Were there any hiccups?
The only people who are older than me, were there any hiccups in Capital Culture? Oh my gosh, don't take me back there. There was quite a lot of hiccups on the bill.
I wasn't even here for that, so I assumed the went
called it a
smoothly.
Scouse wedding, didn't he? Do you remember? Oh, you won't
Well, I
remember.
was in year
You're
eight.
You're in year 8. Oh, let me just feel Miss Havisham-like about this. But yeah, so on the build to Capital Culture, there were lots and lots of fallouts, walkouts, dramas. And we still delivered a really great year. But do you know what? That's because the programme was always really strong. So if you can do whatever you want. People, especially Liverpool people, they can see through rubbish. And actually, Capital Culture Year the programme was always brilliant. So I had absolute faith through all the drama that the programme would be brilliant, because it really, really, really was. And this is exactly the same, is it? But we haven't fallen. No, there's been no traumas on this.
No dramas.
Really,
There's been no time for drama.
There's been no time. No, I've had a few tears at some points.
Flat
But
out. I've been crying all week.
Yeah, but that's not because it's
Positively.
been. Yeah,
Positively.
exactly.
Did anything fall through? We wanted to do this, but it happened, or is everything?
Actually, didn't
Original plans?
the one thing I thought was going to fall through was spots on you.
I know, my gosh, that's going to be massive.
It happens,
Oh my
so-
gosh, that's going to be massive.
For people who don't know what Spot Sonia is,
Well, it's a collection of songs around the city.
It is a collection of Sonias around the city, and it's the one thing in the bid that made everyone laugh. So it was about, and people have sort of said to me, "Oh,
but this was in the bid.
it was in the bid." Yeah. It was part of the bid. But the classic for me is, I remember when we were doing Capital of Culture, like everyone was like, "Is McCartney playing? Is McCartney playing?" And you'd just be like, and then we showed the media, "Yes, McCartney is playing," and there was a whole sigh of relief. On this one, it is a bit like Sonia. Is Sonia? Where are we going to spot Sonia? Is Spot Sonia happening?
It's
Capture
like
people's
the
imaginations,
reinvention of
isn't it?
Sonia. She's just everywhere.
Well, she will be everywhere to spot.
So I know you guys. We spoke months ago as well. That you guys
We'll be younger then. I look younger then.
So do
Slightly
I.
Normal. Yeah, exactly. We've all aged in the 6 months. No.
And you guys were saying that you've reached out to everyone and you wanted to get people involved. Is there anyone that you feel comfortable saying they did want to do it or they did do it? You mentioned McCartney. What was the response
Oh, we haven't
from him?
spoken to. No, we didn't. We haven't done any of the arts, that sort of art stuff. So we haven't contracted McCartney. The BBC might have done, but we haven't.
Right.
That's not what we're doing. We're doing a programme about Liverpool kind of contemporary artists and Ukrainian artists. A big education programme, a big community programme, getting the whole city ready. Ours isn't the starry stuff, and the village, of course. But the village is actually, in fairness, the village is pretty damn starry, isn't it?
It is.
It's pretty starry. We've got Jamala on.
And there's
this
still
afternoon.
people being
Jamal was
announced
amazing.
as well. TikTok superstars
Yeah.
have just been announced today.
Well,
4
that-
winners.
Yeah.
I
Well, they
was
all
there.
want to be on it then now. It's the place to be, the village.
I ran there from the office yesterday to go and see Carriage.
You know-
Like Finland, I was like, cha cha cha.
We were watching from the window and it was all like
I mean-
literally people.
Will
just
you get a
running.
bird's eye view from the building?
Yeah,
I
I'm
stick my
assuming.
head out.
I
Stick my
wanted
head
to be
out.
there. I had my council badge on. I was by myself, but he was on stage, and I was cha cha cha, and I thought, God help me if someone gets a video of me right now.
Well, you wouldn't quite look. You didn't have a green jacket on.
No, I had a bright blue.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. You would have clashed.
Yeah,
Would have
probably.
been good.
So there are so many installations, so many events, and obviously the EuroVillage and the contest itself. Is there like something that you guys feel personally attached to? It's like, I love the EuroVillage so much. I love this event that's going on.
Oh,
Choose a favourite, Harry.
I can't choose a favourite because have all been amazing. I'll tell you what. One thing that I was most excited about for me, and it was the community project. So I don't know if people know this fully yet, but there are literally projects happening around. Not just the whole of the city, but across the region as well. And I think back to where I represent and where I'm from in Dovecot, we've got 4 local organisations who are doing their own Eurovision Ukrainian-inspired projects. In fact, there's a party today, Eurovision and Ukrainian party today, that I'm going to have to go back for later on. And so it's just, for me, it was the involvement and of local people, local organisations, letting them and enabling them to do what they want to do for Eurovision. That's what's special for me.
And I got, so on a day when I was just feeling like, because it's a long time Eurovision as well, isn't it? Because we started on the 1st of May and we've just been like 15, 16 hours a day until now. So it's been like a real run at it. But I got through my door at my house, I got some sunflower seeds through that were from, we funded the community project to give everyone sunflower seeds.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I got this lovely letter from the community association saying, we want you to grow sunflowers in celebration of Eurovision in Ukraine. And I was just like, oh my God, I've got sunflower seeds. I took a photograph of it. And it just felt lovely because that's nothing that I've done. You know, just someone else in my streets had an idea to get sunflower seeds. I've got to plant them actually. Got to be awful if I don't plant them.
Now's the perfect time as well.
I think that's
And they
something that
don't
I've
grow.
noticed as well. Even people coming into the city, Liverpool's always been classed as like one of the friendliest cities, not only in the UK but in the world as well. And I think you can really see that from just like that light and the joy coming from everyone as well. So it must be nice to see, you know, everyone enjoying everything that you guys have put in place and sharing that love.
Scott Mills yesterday on the breakfast show.
You told me to me, what was it?
Honest to God. I mean, that just, I cried at that. I've literally cried at everything in the most positive way. You know, when he said that he's done like 15 Eurovisions in person, and he read out a tweet from someone saying how they didn't want it to end in Liverpool, and he said that out of all the host cities, Liverpool has been by far been the best host city he's ever experienced. That was top
And
tier.
obviously, we're big Eurovision fans as well.
Yeah.
So watching this for years, like, you can tell as well. You know, you kind of look at the hallmarks like Stockholm 2016, and then you compare it to Turin last year. We've just like completely knocked it out of the park.
Hooray!
Well, we do, and we've done things that have never been done before.
Never been done.
And you know, hopefully, Liverpool set a new
Well, we
standard.
did for Cllr Culture. I mean, that's what we did for Cllr Culture. We set a complete new standard
Yeah.
for community engagement and education engagement in something like Cllr Culture. But before then, it was generally a marketing and arts thing. It wasn't like how we did it. We went absolutely overboard with it. And that learning and getting that stuff right is kind of what we've done. But I think there's a real difference in this because we're hosting. It's like, what I love about this is we're hosting it on behalf of another country in our house, aren't we? That's what we always say.
That's what Sam Ryan
But
said,
it makes you feel so proud that people are then loving it.
Yeah.
So it's like you're proud because we've done it well for another country. And even if they don't like Eurovision, I've got loads of people who've never like Eurovision, don't like Eurovision, sorry Harry, they're not keen. But
I don't know how
they're
that's
just,
a thing,
I know,
but okay, yeah.
but they are here in the city at the moment because we've done this for Ukraine, and the art's great,
Yeah.
the culture's great.
But that's so true though, because it's one thing doing the city proud and you know doing yourselves proud and the city, all of that. But actually, because it is that extra level, because we're doing it on behalf of another country, it's like so much extra pressure, but so worth it at the same time. So worth it. You know, a helping hand in a time when they most
And they'll
need
take
it.
Liverpool away from them, won't they?
Absolutely.
You know, with them, they'll take Liverpool away with them, and they'll be thinking of Liverpool when they're rebuilding their own country. And it just like we love Liverpool. You know, I love it here. I get Liverpool. I miss
Well,
it
you're
when I'm not
adopted
here. I'm a
Scouser.
complete adopted Scouser. I am an absolute adopted Scouser, and I can't imagine living anywhere else. But so it's really lovely to show that off to the world, and I think even more than Cllr Culture, this competition's done that, and the economic benefit that will come from this isn't just now.
Well, that is a
It's
massive part for
It's massive.
fans who are only jumping onto the Eurovision bandwagon this year. May not, you know, it costs so much. It's a massive monster that kind of comes in and goes again, and people think that, you know, it's going to cost the city so much, which it does, but we reap years worth of benefits back afterwards. Can you tell us a little bit about like the
I don't
impact
think
and
it's cost
legacy?
us.
No, well, actually,
I think
no.
it's been a really good investment.
And actually, if one thing for people to learn, because there are some sceptical people as well about, you know, how much does Eurovision generate, etc. We spent, as a city, from a city council perspective, £2 million on the bid. And actually, that's for the contest. We actually spent nothing in terms of
And
getting
the
the bid.
bid, the bid-
It
the
was
bid
all
bid.
in-house.
The bid
The bid
gave
was
us
all
the-
in-house.
Yeah.
You know, £2 million we put towards this, match funded by the combined authority, an extra £2 million. But already we've had about 10 to 15 million
In
pounds
cash.
in cash investment from government, from lottery, from Spirit of 2012.
The National
and-
Lottery put on the show on Sunday,
They
and that was a
literally did.
that was a
Yeah.
big old show. That
But that was
you know.
millions of pounds worth
Yeah.
of show, and you know, so already that 2 million has gone such a long way. That's before we even talk about the economic impact. That, as we can, you know, we know the city is absolutely, it's just ram-packed at the moment. Everyone's buzzing. The bars, the restaurants, hotels, all local small independent businesses, they're all benefiting right now, and that economic impact, of course, will be measured. But it's huge.
And that will continue For years.
Oh, years. Radio 5 Live came the whole day on whatever day it was, Tuesday, from the Rough Handmade Bakery on the Albert Dock. She talked about their croissants in every single break. Do you know what I mean? They are going to get business from that. And the media that are in here today, there are 2,000 media. So people who read the Echo and listen to Radio Merseyside and do all of that, you know, that's one thing.
There are lots that read the Echo.
But there are 2,000 international media sat in that arena just talking about Liverpool that you will never hear of.
Never.
But that's one person sitting in Azerbaijan or, you know, we're in Greece. You know, is listening in Greece going, oh, I think I might bring my conference here. Where shall I go? Oh my God, where's Liverpool? That looks amazing. Done. You know, and that's why you've got to be brave about investing in a culture, because if we'd invested 2 million in a factory, no one would be even questioning us if we brought the return in we brought in. But because it's culture and the arts, people go, not actually. Actually, they really don't, because I've had no issues. I don't know why I'm saying it all defensively. No one's actually said anything to me.
No, 160 million are going to be watching the grand final in our city on Saturday. And Liverpool...
And we did it.
We did it.
Liverpool did it.
And it's just Liverpool's everywhere right now. It is everywhere right now. And those videos, you know, the intro, it's the first semi-final, I'm again crying again. You know, that heart has been there. People are going to remember Liverpool. They're going to want to come back to Liverpool or come for the first time if they're not here now.
Or come and study here.
Yeah, just whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
If you're not in Liverpool, where are you? Do you know what I mean? So that PR for the city is absolutely huge.
I know personally, even I've been doing like interviews with Australian radio, Canada radio, not even talking about the contest, but talking about Liverpool, because there is that like international interest now. It's amazing to see, but there's only a few days left.
I know.
There's only 2 full days left. We're recording this on
Turn
Thursday.
back into Cinderella.
Oh, I know, it's like midnight,
It is,
isn't
it's
it?
like midnight,
The glass
Pumpkin.
slippers are going.
They're going. We'll be throwing those glass slippers in a bin somewhere.
I've got a bright purple sequin costume for suits for the final, and that's gonna.
I'm in my jeans.
It'll never be worn again.
Oh, it might be, because it's quite corporate. You look quite council in it.
Yeah, it's
City
purple.
Council
Council
purple.
purple. It is.
You know, I was thinking Grimace.
You thinking what?
Grimace.
Grimace.
Yeah, a purple suit.
Oh God! Yeah, I didn't even think about that one.
Who's
now.
that? What are you talking about? You're talking a different language.
Oh,
It's a
I don't
cartoon.
get it.
Yeah.
It's where?
It's a cartoon character.
Oh,
Big purple guy from McDonald's.
Does it remember me?
How old am I?
Oh, right, good. Let's not answer on camera.
Is it Danger Mouse?
No.
Oh, then I don't know.
So whenever this does wrap, you know, it kind of has a solid turn-off point entertainment-wise on the Sunday. What's next for you guys? Like, because like we said, Eurovision will still leave a massive impact. And there's like a legacy board as well. So kind of tell us a little bit about what this will do to the city afterwards.
Look, again, I'd lived through capital culture, so legacy is important. But legacy is not something you can kind of, and it sounds really silly, but you can't write it. You've got to feel it. So I think what we've done, we've got a whole music board which
I'm chairing.
Harry's chairing. So for me, the legacy is around the music offer. We've got the 2 million from the government, remember, to look at a new music attraction. That needs to be put into the mix. How we talk about music as a city now for the next kind of year. We've got a year before another city takes this spotlight off us. So we have to absolutely make sure that we are talking about this for a whole year. And then while we're talking about it, we need to be getting our strategic policies and our practices right, so that the tourism and the city region and the city kind of come together to kind of make the most of it. So all that will happen, but we are going to, you know, I personally have got to just switch off for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Otherwise I feel like I'm like a wound up toy at the moment.
A little sleep first.
Little
but no,
sleep
I mean, as we've
first.
said though, you know, it is, the economic impact straight away is obviously huge, but also it's that knock-on effect. People coming back, visitors coming back. You know, we struggled during the pandemic. I know it feels like years ago now, but you know, we've still felt the effects of that. This has really revived what we had and actually bettered it.
And some businesses, when they've talked to us, I mean, some of the businesses that have talked to us have cried when we've said we've come in and said we're shutting the road around St George's Hall. You went, absolutely not. You know, without Eurovision we would have shut.
Yeah.
And then you just go, oh my God, because you talk about it. You know, in our jobs we talk about it. I talk about it, but I don't like. I'm not running a hospitality business,
No.
And it's our job. It's my job as a public servant to make sure that we support that sector to be the best that they can be, and then to see them really up saying it's just little moments like that just make you go, we did the right thing.
Yeah.
And we were steely about it, weren't we, Harry? We were literally like,
we battled.
we did
We
battle.
won.
Battle. Not each other.
No, not each other. No, absolutely not.
But we did battle.
We're like twins now. Well, a few years between
exactly.
us.
Thank you. You can say it now. But we did. We absolutely believed in it, and we believed in it because I know this. I know how this city works, and I knew it would rise to this challenge. I knew it would, but it's risen to it more than even I would have thought it would have done.
Unbelievable.
And the legacy of this will be, there's two things. It'll be in the hearts and minds of the Ukrainians who go, that city is the one, you know, cultural diplomacy is a really big deal.
Yeah.
You know, they'll take Liverpool back with them when they rebuild. But in this city, it's just put us right back on top again.
Yeah.
Like right back, where we belong, on top, and that's really important.
Yeah.
It's so amazing to see. We've covered everything. We talked about the Eurofestival, we talked about the village, we talked about how it started as a text, we talked about how much this...
The thing is,
It's
I can never
crazy.
spell on text, so gosh, all my friends just think that's
Spelling mistake?
hysterical.
No,
Was it spelled
It was
properly?
correctly spelled, actually, yeah.
And we've talked about how much this means to people and Ukrainian collaboration stuff, but probably the most important thing that we can ask, who do you guys want to win on Saturday?
I know,
There you go on.
I've got
you
a
can.
few. I've got
my right answer to it, but
Go on
no,
then.
my right answer is an answer because I want to do it again. So I'd like May Muller
May
to
Muller.
win. Only because I want to do it again. And then when I said that, someone said to me, well, you can't do it again. I said, who made that rule up?
Exactly.
Exactly. They'll try taking
So-
it off us is all I'm
So
saying.
that's an exclusive then. So if the UK wins, we're putting in another bid.
Exactly.
Oh, I
try,
accept
try taking it as offers.
There's no point in
you
even
know.
taking the banners down at this stage.
No,
because
Exactly.
We'll just
And
have
it's
like a
much-
year-long
it's value
contest.
for money then. It's much more value for money. If we
Best
just
value.
keep it. Exactly. All about best value.
I've got a few favourites. So I mean, of course, I'm all here for Loreen. I love Finland. I say it was in the crowd yesterday at the village forum. But I also love Noah Carell. I love Israel. Yeah, and actually I've got to speak to Estonia as
I
well.
like Austria. Do I
Oh,
say
Po
that?
Po Po, yes,
I like
yes,
that
yes.
one,
Who does that?
But you've
Yes,
mentioned
yes.
quite a few. We
I've
need
got
one.
quite a few.
Who's your 12
Choose
points
Harry. Get
You
off
got-
that fence.
Are you asking
Claire-
me?
Get off
Are you
that
asking me who
Eurovision
I-
fence.
to? Claire's given 12 points to May
I
Muller.
am.
Who are you giving 12 points
Well,
to?
she can't, because we can't give 12 points to
Don't
May
test
Muller.
me to do someone else that's not May Muller.
Right,
I literally.
okay. My 12 points go to Liverpool.
No, we need
That's
an
a
answer.
politician's answer.
My 12 points, okay. Probably, oh no, this is hard. My 12 points go to Noah, yeah?
Israel.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Thank you so much for speaking with me. It's
Oh,
been a
it's been so
pleasure
lovely.
watching all this unfold and being non-stop with you guys as well. I'm sure you're as sick as me as I am with you.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
thanks.
not at all.
But
at all.
yeah, thank you so much for speaking
No,
with us.
thank you for being so positive on the Echo as well. You know, it's
And keeping
important.
me up to date what's happening in the village.
Yeah.
It's important because, you know, this is such a big thing, so it's brilliant to see the positivity that's coming out of the Echo as well on this one, so thank you. Thanks
Amazing.
for all your reporting on it.
Thank you
And
guys so much.